I knew trouble was coming the moment I heard the splash, not that light, playful kind of splash kids make, but a heavy, entitled one, followed by that shrill, high-pitched laugh that makes your stomach twist. And when I stepped into my backyard, I froze. Karen. Yes, that Karen. Lounging on a float in my pool like she owned the place. Sunglasses perched high, a glass of rose teetering on the edge. And when she saw me, fists clenched at my sides, she waved. Oh, hey. Finally decided to open the community pool. My jaw nearly hit the deck. What the hell are you talking about, Karen? This is my backyard. My pool. You broke in. She laughed, that fake, dripping kind of laugh only Karen could pull off. No worry mistaken. According to the Homeowners Association covenant, she leaned back, letting the water lap at her float. This pool belongs to the neighborhood. I swear I almost screamed. Shared property? That's insane. This pool was built before the HOA even existed. I paid for it. I maintain it. And she trespassed onto my land. She tilted her head like I'd lost my mind. Honey, you're misinformed. I'm on the Homeowners Association board. I know the rules. And if you don't want to be reported for restricting access, I suggest you calm down. My heart was pounding. Rage bubbled inside me. But there was a surreal absurdity in her audacity that made me want to laugh. Reported for not letting her trespass? Seriously? I didn't laugh. I stepped forward, voice low but steady. Karen, get out. She splashed water at me like a bratty kid. Except this brat was a grown woman in her 50s with way too much mascara. Relax, it's just water. Don't be so uptight. My hand twitched toward my phone. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't threatening. I was going to record. And as soon as I hit record, her whole demeanor shifted. Shoulders stiffened, lips curling into a snarl. What are you doing? You can't record me. That's illegal. I laughed sharp, bitter. Illegal? You're in my pool on my property. You broke the gate lock. You don't get to cry privacy now. Her face turned red not from sunburn or heat, but pure rage. She paddled closer to the edge, arms flailing like some deranged water queen. I'll sue. The HOA will back me up. You don't know who you're messing with. Then my neighbor, Alex, peeked over the fence. Half entertained, half exasperated. Dude, why is she in your pool? Karen spun, indignant. Because it's not his pool, it's the HOA's pool, and I'm enforcing community rights. Alex blinked, then started laughing so hard I thought he'd choke. Are you kidding me? Everyone knows this is his private pool. Karen, you're insane. Her eyes narrowed, voice dropping into a hiss. Careful, Alex. Remember the lawn violation last spring? Alex rolled his eyes. Lady, I beat that violation. You're just grasping at straws. The tension was thick, heavy as the midday sun. My pulse hammered, hands trembling not from fear, but from sheer fury mixed with disbelief. How do you even argue with someone this delusional? I exhaled sharply. That's it. You had your chance. I'm calling the cops. Her head snapped toward me, water dripping from her hair as she climbed out, wet footprints slapping across my deck. Oh, please. Call them. You think they'll side with you against the HOA? They'll laugh in your face. Wrong. The officers arrived faster than I expected, their car gliding down the street with that quiet authority that makes everyone peek out their windows. Neighbors gathered, curious, recording, whispering. Karen straightened her sundress, acting like royalty. Officers, thank goodness you're here. This man is trying to keep me out of community property. He even threatened me. She lied straight to their faces, doubling down. The taller officer, sunglasses reflecting my pool, turned slowly. Sir, is this your property? Yes, I said firmly, shoving the deed at them. This pool, this land, it's all mine, built before the HOA existed. She broke my lock and trespassed. The second officer crouched, inspecting the broken latch. Looks consistent with forced entry. Karen's confidence wavered slightly. That was already broken. He doesn't maintain his property. Alex, phone in hand, piped up. Funny because I filmed her climbing over the gate 15 minutes ago. He waved the phone like a trophy. The crowd buzzed, gasped a few stifled laughs. Karen's face drained of color. The officer's voice turned steely. "Ma'am, is that true?" Karen stammered, water dripping from her hairline. Two was just making sure the pool was safe for community use. The second officer shook his head. "Ma'am, you do realize this is private property. You don't have authority to enforce HOA rules here." Her voice cracked. But I'm on the board. I am the Homeowners Association." That was the breaking point. The crowd erupted in laughter sharp, unkind, uncontrollable. Even the officers struggled to keep straight faces. The taller officer finally sighed, pulling out the cuffs. Clink. Justice slicing through the heat. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for trespassing and property damage." Karen shrieked, thrashing. "No, this isn't happening. You're all against me. This is a conspiracy." I stood arms crossed, slow breath escaping me, watching her being hauled down my street, neighbors filming every second. Surreal, vindicating, bitterly sweet. And yet, as the patrol car door slammed shut, the sting of irony met his wasn't just about a pool. It was about control, power, ego, and she just drowned in her own arrogance. Later that night, I sat by the water's edge, ripples calm, the air still humming with whispers. Alex brought over a beer, clinking it against mine. Well, that was one for the books. I chuckled tiredly, almost hollow. Yeah, but something tells me this isn't the last time she'll try something. 2 weeks later, a certified letter arrived from the HOA, signed by none other than Karen, postmarked the day before her arrest. It demanded I remove unauthorized aquatic structures from the neighborhood commons. I laughed until I cried. Even in cuffs, even humiliated, she tried to keep her delusion alive. Here's the kicker. The HOA disbanded shortly after. Too much bad press, too many lawsuits, too many board members resigning after her stunt went viral online. In the end, my pool stayed mine. Karen faced fines, probation, and community service scrubbing graffiti off town park walls. A bitter end for a bitter woman. Karma doesn't just knock it cannonballs into the deep end. Sometimes I sit by the pool, shake my head, and laugh at the absurdity. And you know what? I can't help but wonder how many other Karens are out there, ready to dive into someone else's life, thinking it's theirs. If you've ever witnessed someone overstep, abuse power, or just flat out lose touch with reality, drop a comment below. Who was right? Who was wrong? And tell me what would you have done if you were in my shoes? Even after Karen was cuffed and dragged away, the neighborhood didn't exactly go back to normal. I mean, you'd think people would just shrug it off once the chaos cooled, but no, the ripple effect lasted. Kids were whispering about the pool incident for weeks, and honestly, I half expected a reality TV crew to show up at my gate. Alex and I, we tried to enjoy the calm, sit back with a beer, and laugh about the absurdity until the HOA letter arrived. Yeah, the letter. Picture this. I'm sitting by the pool, sun dipping low, golden hour light bouncing off the water, and I hear the mail thump onto the porch. I pick it up, glance at the envelope, and it's stamped official, crisp, almost mocking. Karen's handwriting, postmarked the day before her arrest. I stared at it for a solid 30 seconds, half expecting it to dissolve into smoke or something. Then I opened it. And she had the audacity to demand I remove unauthorized aquatic structures from the neighborhood commons. My pool, which had been there longer than most of the houses. Unbelievable. I laughed so hard, Alex spilling a bit of his beer over the edge of the deck. Did she just? He started, but words failed him. Yeah, she did. Even humiliated, even handcuffed, even facing fines and community service, Karen couldn't let go of her delusions of grandeur. You know what I mean? Like she genuinely believed the universe owed her obedience. And the funniest part? The HOA itself crumbled. Poof. Dissolved. Too much bad press, too many lawsuits, too many board members resigning in shame. Suddenly, the rules Karen had been clinging to were meaningless. My pool, safe, untouched, exactly as it had been before this whole nightmare began. Karma, in the most literal sense, had cannonballed right into the deep end. But let me back up a sec. Just when you think this is over, there's always another twist. 2 weeks after Karen's arrest, I catch a glimpse of her driving past my house. She's in that same oversized sun hat, sunglasses, looking like she owns the entire street. Alex nudges me. She's back. I want to laugh, I really do, but there's that tiny, nagging fear. What's next? People like that don't just vanish. They simmer, plotting. And you better believe she was already thinking of her next community enforcement stunt. Meanwhile, the neighbors? They were buzzing. Some were genuinely supportive, some still confused, and a few were silently taking sides. It's fascinating how a single incident can fracture a neighborhood, even temporarily. I started getting texts from folks I'd barely met. We saw what happened. Respect. Do you need help if she tries anything else? We're still on your side. That was kind of nice, actually. A reminder that most people just want to live and let live, not drown in someone else's ego. Oh, and speaking of egos, Karen's probation and community service weren't enough to satiate the internet. Clips of her flailing in the pool went viral. Memes, TikTok challenges, you name it. I woke up one morning to find my phone blowing up with notifications. Is this real life? Karen, the water queen of Riverside County. Yeah, people have no chill. And honestly, neither did she, even in legal trouble. Watching her try to maintain control over something she never owned was mesmerizing in a terrifying, ridiculous way. But here's where it gets almost poetic. After the HOA dissolved, the neighborhood council approached me. We know the pool has always been yours, they said. We want to officially recognize it as private property. I held back a laugh. Finally, the universe had officially sided with reason. My pool, my rules, my sanity restored. Well, mostly, because every time I look over the fence, half expecting Karen to somehow rappel in from a drone or parachute or something, I can't help but smirk. And Alex? He's become the unofficial neighborhood commentator. Every time a neighbor asks about the pool drama, he's got a grin, phone ready. Remember the great Karen splash? He says. And everyone laughs. That phrase is now etched in local lore. So yeah, the aftermath was satisfying, vindicating even. Karen faced fines, probation, community service, scrubbing graffiti off town walls. I got peace, recognition, and the smug satisfaction of being legally and morally right. But here's the kicker, the real lesson. Some people don't just knock on doors to test boundaries. Some cannonball right through them, ego first, entitlement following closely behind. And you have to be ready. Always ready. I'll tell you, sitting by the pool that night, the water calm, the air still, I felt a mix of relief and amusement. Alex handed me another beer. One for the books, he said. I nodded, drained but smiling. Yeah, but I have a feeling this isn't over. And I was right. Because somewhere out there, Karen was probably drafting her next letter, plotting her next board meeting stunt, imagining herself enforcing community rules like some aquatic monarch. The truth is, in neighborhoods, as in life, it's about boundaries, respect, and the occasional reality check. And when someone ignores every rule of decency and common sense, karma find a way to make a splash, sometimes literally. So, if you've ever had a run-in with a Karen or seen someone try to rewrite reality to suit their ego, you know what I mean. Comment below with your stories, your thoughts on right versus wrong, or how you've handled entitlement in your own life. Because in the end, it's not just about pools or HOA rules or viral videos. It's about standing up, knowing your rights, and letting the cannonballs of karma do their thing.